Hey, I just picked this up today. It's the new F4U-A1 Corsair. It's the second version of Parkzone's Corsair. It is a bind and fly, so it should be pretty easy to put together. But I decided to put the flaps in, so I got 2 extra servos. And this build's a little bit more difficult than the normal bind and fly build, so I thought I'd do a quick video showing you how I put this thing together. So let's get started. I was actually surprised when I opened this box. I thought it was going to be pretty much the same thing as the old one, with flaps added, the optional retracts, and the drop tanks. The only thing I've been disappointed with so far is the drop tanks. I thought they were molded plastic, but they're actually foam. I'll show you them here. Just a foam drop tank. 1 bolt there that holds them on. They'll still look really cool in the air. Another thing I'm really happy with is the way that they did the tail. Instead of just a solid piece glued on, they have a 2-piece tail now. Zoom this back out a little bit. With a carbon fiber rod. Not only that, let's get this back together. But you can see they've reinforced the tail with carbon fiber rods in both the elevator and the vertical stabilizer, horizontal stabilizer. So I just wanted to point that out. Another thing that they changed with this is the hatch. It actually feels a bit bigger. The fuselage itself feels a bit bigger, and the hatch is different. It's just this piece right here, instead of having the whole canopy come off with the hatch. It does look a lot different. They definitely re-engineered this whole plane. But I do want to keep this video short, so I'll get the building started here. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is cut these little blocks out that, these flaps are optional, so they have to keep them secured if you don't want to use a flap. So you'll see right here, there's a little chunk of foam that I'll cut out right now. Just like that. And I'll do the same on the other side. Once you get that foam block cut out, there's also a couple other things you need to do. There's a little tiny piece of foam right here that you must cut through. A little tiny piece of foam right there. And you also have to cut for the entire side. Right there. So after that's done, so I'm going to go a little deeper here. There we go. You can see it'll actually have only one control horn here, and it's got a pretty cool little plastic setup here that will move all 3, just like the original. Has the split flap. So next thing I'm gonna do is put servo in. Alright, here you can see that I've installed my servos already. I use 3M tape, double-sided. Some people use super glue, some people use hot glue, whatever your preference. Mine just happens to be that double-sided 3M tape. Now that they're installed, I'll show you how easy it is to route the servo wires. Just right here is the hole to go to the top of the wing. So you can run your wires just like that. Going straight up to the top. It's actually an extremely painful process. They didn't really make the screws long enough for those control horns, so you really had to squish the foam down. That's why I didn't film it. It took me about 5 minutes just to get that one control horn on. I finally got those push rods on. I didn't follow what the book said. The book said 3 holes down on the arms and the top hole on the horn. But the only way I can get those things to fit, they're really short, is I unscrewed them almost all the way, just so they're sticking out of the top part. But I'm on the very top hole of the arm and on the second hole from the bottom on the horns. Once I get this turned on, I had my servo centered, expecting those push rods to be a little bit longer, so I'll just use sub trim to bring them down to where they need to be. Alright, the next thing I gotta do is get these gear doors on. The thing about these gear doors is you have to take this plate, they use this plate for the absence of the retractable gears. You have to take these 4 screws out to snap this gear door on. Well, once you do that, you put the 4 screws back in, you drop your landing gear in, and this is one of the cool features, like I was talking about before. On the old Corsair, these would fly off all the time, but you know, this attaches with a magnet. It's also on a hinge down here, as you can see. So if you get some flex when you land, those doors aren't going to move. But the gear just drops in. Then you have to use these little plates here. And they are specific to each side. So you gotta make sure you get the right one. This appears to be the right one. So then you put these screws in. Takes a good bit of force here, but that's a good thing because you want all the support you can get on these landing gear. And that's that. Hopefully you saw some of that. And then I'll get the other side done and we'll move on. So I got the drop tanks on. I'm actually disappointed with them because they're very, very wobbly. These are not secure at all. That's a little ridiculous. I'm going to take them off and glue them on. That one screw just isn't doing it. So along with the servos for the the flaps, you're going to need a Y. But that Y you're going to plug in to the gear slot, just like that. Alright, so now we'll hook this all up, put the wing on, and go from there. So to get the wing on, they already have one Y installed. Remember, we installed our second Y. For the flaps. It's on the wing, you can see here. The 2 aileron servos are marked with yellow tape. And these smaller ones, like I said before, are for the optional retractable gear. And these are for my flat servos. So what we'll do, so now you can't see this, but we're just going to plug our ailerons into one Y. And plug our flaps to the other Y. Make sure the colors match. And as you can see already, these are both falling off. I'm going to hot glue those on as soon as my gun heats up. But I will clean these wires up later, but for the time being, just to show you how this plane looks. Let me get all these wires in there. You do not want to fly like this. You're going to need to tie these wires up because you can get them caught in the servo arms and actually cause a crash, and that's the last thing you want. So the wing goes on. Put your 2 screws in, which I'm not going to do for the time being, because like I said, I need to clean those wires up. What I will do is show you how to put the tail on. The tail is very easy. Pull it apart. Slide that carbon fiber rod, goes in the middle hole. I actually have 3 holes there.
Whatever it takes to protect my friends.
It also attaches in the back. And just like the old one, it does require some tape. And it goes half on the plastic, and half on horizontal stabilizer. And you do that on all 4 surfaces. After that, you hook up your control arm, and you'll be good. Well, after just a couple bends of the flaps, the hinge completely broke. You can see they're very thin. Even on this other side, it's still put together. So I would definitely reinforce those with tape if I were you. Alright, well here she is all put together, and I can tell you what, that was the most painful and unpleasant Parkzone build that I've ever done. And I've done them all. Pretty unhappy so far. I haven't even flown it. Especially with that hinge breaking on the flaps just after a couple times of moving them. I'm glad I did that on the ground instead of in the air. If I pulled those flaps down in the air and they broke like that, it definitely could have caused a wing stall and a crash. And I'll be giving Horizon Hobby a call, letting them know about that hinge and see what they can do. That's what it looks like. It is a good looking plane, that's for sure. But a very, very painful build. And another thing that's really don't like about it is there's nothing accessible from taking the hatch off. You take the hatch off, the only thing here is the battery plug and the slot for the battery. All the servos, the receiver, everything, you have to take the wing off in order to access them. So I got this all put together, go to bind it, you gotta take it apart. So not very happy at all. It better fly well.